Okay, one thing to state before we start here. This is not technically the most optimal build for solo queue, but what I mean is any person who immediately gets the game can pretty much instantly have this build. The only teachable perk, meaning it comes from another survivor, you can't just like get it from the blood web directly. You need to prestigious survivor, is balanced landing. Um, I choose this perk because it teaches you a lot, and it can get you out of situations that if you don't have this perk, you just die or lose a health state in for free. So, and this knowing how this perk works teaches you a lot about um, very important mechanisms within the game, especially relating to verticality, because a lot of times survivors will panic, right? They'll jump off when they shouldn't. If you don't have this perk, you should always avoid verticality as survivor unless you're at specific areas. But the other three, pretty much this perk is interchangeable, but I would just really recommend balanced landing to a beginner. In my opinion, it is the most balanced exhaustion perk. It is very healthy for the game compared to other exhaustion perks like Dead Hard, Lithe, Sprint Burst, which are just free distance pretty much. Balanced landing, you have to work for it. And not only do you have to work for it, but it rewards you heavily for working for it. Um, the other three perks here, you probably recognize some if you know a little bit about the game already. Kindred, this is by far the best survivor perk in the game for solo queue. It doesn't seem that good, right? It's just information, just purely information. Um, Essentially, when you're hooked, all survivors can see each other. Now, you would think, like, okay, sure, like, I kind of already have a general idea where the other survivors are. Why do I care? Um, well, you probably aren't very smart as a survivor. Um, and by that, I mean, if you are working on a gen, you're halfway across the map away from the hook. There's another survivor who's all the way across the map on a different gen, and one survivor's in chase. Now, would you know that? Probably not. Even though all the information is presented to you. That's why I don't use this perk, is because I can just know from looking at the HUD. You won't, though, probably, unless you really get used to it and how the HUD works. So you need this perk to tell you where the other survivors are. For you personally, you can see the killer, which is very important. So it lets you know when you can go in for a save, and it lets other survivors know when they can go in for the save for you. So it's very important, especially in beginner lobbies, because all your teammates will be sped. The killer will be sped probably on your first game. Resilience, 9% faster, pretty much everything. The main thing here is gens. The 9% faster on gens is absolutely insane. Better than Deja Vu. It's even better than Overzealous, another perk that's well, that's 10% faster, but only 1% off, and Overzealous is just a 10 times worse perk because this is so easy to activate. This perk will teach you when you get unhooked and the other survivor refuses to heal you for whatever reason. The killer could come by and chase them, you know, but you're injured, right? Maybe you already used your med kit. I would recommend that item the most. And you don't have anything. Just sit your ass on a gen. This perk will teach you that very heavily because you repair 9% faster. Why would you want to heal if being injured makes you repair 9% faster? But it really teaches you that. A lot of times in my games, we end up losing because the survivor will get unhooked and then go look in chests and shit, right? Unless you're death hook and you're the only person who's death hook, you should not be looking for a heal off your hook if you haven't been healed already. A lot of times it sells the game. And even if you are on death hook and you just know that, like, maybe a couple chests have been open already, maybe you know that looking for a chest would just cause more chances for the killer to attack you. Just sit on a gen. Just sit on a gen. It's okay, right? Especially if you have like one gen left. If you're death hook, just sit on a gen. Really, truthfully, that's like the best thing you can do in the game. Decisive strike. Now this is very, very important for beginners. You need anti-tunnel if you're a beginner, period. Whether it be dead hard, off the record, not off the record anymore because it got nerfed, but decisive strike. It's a lot more complicated of a perk than you might realize, especially as a beginner. I mean, you could read it, but then you'd probably not even know what it does still. or like how it works. But so first of all, most obvious thing, and what you probably think I mean by it's complicated, is once all the generators are popped, it doesn't work. When it does work, 60 seconds after you get unhooked, if you get downed within that 60 seconds and the killer picks you up, you hit a skill check. And if you hit the skill check, which is harder to hit than you'd think, especially for a beginner, you free yourself. Stuns the killer for 4 seconds, and you become the obsession. Becoming the obsession's not really important, but you stun the killer for 4 seconds, you get away. So essentially, you just get an extra chance. It's just free. You press a button, get extra chance. It's not as easy as Dead Hard, but maybe it's easier. I don't know. It's a little bit iffy. But now the reason why I put this perk in here is because not only is Anti-Tunnel super good for a beginner, because it'll help you be in the game longer, help you learn faster, especially how Anti-Tunnel perks work, which are very important to know how to do. It's free now. You can just get it in the blood web. It's not Laurie Strode's perk anymore, even though it says it on my screen. It's called Will to Live now, I think, and you can just get it in the blood web. So you don't have to do it like Nia, where you have to prestige a certain survivor to get the perk. But the thing about this perk that a lot of people mess up on, like pretty much all the time, is like, where did my Decisive Strike go? I had Decisive Strike. Where'd it go? If you heal a survivor, if you heal yourself, if you work on a gen, I think even if you open a chest or cleanse a totem, it deactivates. So I would pretty much not touch anything. If you're aware that the killer's nearby, and you're on Death Hook, especially if you're Death Hook and you have this perk up, just don't touch anything until the 60 seconds are over. It's very important because a lot of times somebody will like have Decisive Strike and they'll be like, okay, I'll just go work on a gen. I don't even need a heal because I have Decisive Strike, and they'll just forget how it works, especially beginners. It's so easy to forget how it works. But it deactivates as soon as you touch a gen, as soon as you heal the survivor, as soon as you heal yourself, it's gone, just straight up gone. So it's very important to be aware of that. And also the timer itself, you have to be aware that 60 seconds is not a long time in Dead by Daylight. It's a long time, but for example, if you get chased for 30 seconds, take a hit, run away for another 15 seconds, then finally get down, because usually chases last about 30 to 45 seconds, for beginners especially. I mean, obviously you can get longer chases, but that's typically how long a chase lasts if you're doing your job. This perk's gone. You get downed after 45 seconds. You've lost 2 health states. You're down on the ground. If the killer waits for 15 seconds, right? If you have a survivor nearby with a flashlight, and he goes after that individual, by the time he gets back to you, if you have 15 seconds left, it'll probably be gone. So you have to be very aware of the timer. This perk's a lot more complicated than you think it is, but at the same time, if you get unhooked, the killer hits your endurance off the hook, and then they just hit you again, and then you're dead, and then they pick you up. You're just free now. So that's essentially why this perk, like, you don't have to do all the complicated things or think about it too hard, but if you do get tunneled, this perk will save you for a little bit. You know, it's not like a get out of jail free card. The killer can just keep chasing you, and it probably will if you're getting tunneled. But it's good. It'll make you last a little bit longer, which is very important. The whole game is time. It's time. Time is gen progress in this game. Remember that. That's wisdom. That's Sage of Wisdom right there. I guess another thing I'd recommend to beginner survivors is don't be scared to play Selfish. Right, you see YouTubers all the time who's like, as soon as their teammate's on a hook or something, if they're like the last 2 people alive, they'll just run back in the map and die for the teammate. You're not A-Run, you're not JRM, right? You're not whoever else you watch. You're ass. Just leave sometimes. Just leave. I know it's like a corny thing to say at this point, but like genuinely. Right. But the Quan. The Quan's complaining. How many hours did Quan have? Was this the guy with like 4,000 hours? This was the guy with 4,000 hours. What is he complaining about? Whatever, bro. And that kind of goes to show, right? You can have 5,000 hours on this game, but if you're past your prime, right, and you probably never had a prime, right, you're gonna complain. For example, that Quan's build, I could just tell by looking at his build that he has no idea what he's doing on Survivor, especially solo queue Survivor. And it's really that simple sometimes. This bitch has pain res. Oh, okay. We might lose this game actually, just because. God. It's crazy that we go from like being like that Huntress was ass, or maybe not. For my standards, she was ass Huntress, and then we go to a Twins right afterward. I don't understand. She has full injuries though. Does Nia have? Okay, well I have to get the pain. She is trying to tunnel me. Okay. We have decisive strike though. What the fuck? Get the fuck away from me. Okay, thank God. Hello, Rickety. I would like a heal with you, Rickety. Ooh, that's not good. Nice. Birthday run for the save here. Oh my God. Oh my God, we messed up. Come on. Come on. Oh, you could have got that, you bitch. Okay, why does that one work with bounce? She's so stupid. Damn. Kick his ass. Oh my God. Double pick, double pick. Here's a thank you. Reset. Nice. Oh, reset's crazy there. The thing with this Trunks player is I don't think she really positions her like main body that well. Oh shit. I think she's cooked. I think Hutch girl's cooked. Yeah. Oh my God, unless. Ooh. Interesting. That's where we're gonna live. We just fall open? Oh my God. Well, that wouldn't matter. Shit. What if we were to hook that and then unhook? I mean open. We just play for hit tag. Nice.